Meet Pete Kovacevic from Alpine Adventures. Since 1996, providing unforgettable travel experiences for skiers from all walks of life. As an expert in all things ski, Pete will share the secrets of Chile as a must-visit experience and Hotel Termas Chillán as the newest and hottest offering in Latin America.
So, Pete, it is a pleasure to have you join us. I'm very excited to hear about your thoughts on Chile. I know you're super expert in all things ski and snow globally. So, I'm very honored to be able to get your thought on, how does Chile as a destination compare? What are your thoughts on this gem called Hotel Termas de Chillán and the destination of Chillán, which I am almost sure hardly anybody knows. So first of all, thank you for joining us. Thank you for accepting the invitation. And if I could start asking you, can you tell us a little bit about Chile as a ski destination?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be part of Rep Fest. And thanks again for having me to be part of this event. Chile, it's a unique destination. It pulls together some of the best terrain and conditions known for skiers and snowboarders. And they pull it off in what is the off season for people used to skiing in the northern hemisphere. It's a summertime and you're skiing a powder. Ski season starts from about the end of June and then it goes until the mid of September. Many ski resorts average approximately 25 feet of snow per year in just 3 months of operation, which is really impressive. Then the terrain and snow quality is the first class and the lift lines are unheard of. Now what really differentiate Chile from other ski destinations is that you are skiing on the volcanoes and that's something special which you cannot do anywhere else on the globe. The nature created, and made the eruption and lava flows form unique pistes and gullies and bowls and natural half pipes. So it's a quite spectacular scene and it's a special feeling while you're shredding the snow in Chile. And then at the same time, just imagine that you are skiing the Andes mountain range, which is the longest one with the tallest mountains on Earth outside of the Himalayas. So that altogether, it's hard to beat and there's really nothing to compare around the globe.
Wow. And I'm sure as a, expert in skiing, you probably have been skiing all over the world. I would guess that, you have to have tasted the product. Can you share with us a little bit about how was your first time in Chile? How did you do your trip? How was that feeling, getting to know the people, the food? How was it like?
Yeah, so the we had really one special trip which we did for the company. It was a fan trip where we combined Argentina and Chile, and we started off our trip in Buenos Aires, and then we fly over to San Carlos de Bariloche, where there is a small ski resort called Cerro Cathedral. So we stayed there for a couple of nights. We skied the Cerro Cathedral. We also got to check out the area, which is beautiful. And you're right by the one of the largest lakes in Argentina, which is called Nahuel Huapi. And we really had an incredible time over there. And then after that, we continued up north to check out some other ski resorts, such as Caviahue, which is right on the border between Argentina and Chile. And then we made a stop in a biological reserve, which is called Vilo Vilo. And we got to stay in one hotel, which looks like a tree, and it's called Notofagus. And we just had incredible time there. We even got a chance, to do cat skiing right there in Vilo Vilo. So there is only one T-bar lift, at the bottom of the ski area. And then we went all the way up, to the volcanoes, and we were so close to the volcanoes, and then we just skied down, and it was just incredible. And then we continued also to Temuco, and then from Temuco, we went over to Coralco Ski Resort, which is very well known for Araucaria trees. They're also called monkey puzzle trees, and they're 1,000 years old. And they're really unique. They're really tall. They look like a palms, and it's just that you're surrounded in that area, and then you can ski volcano. There is a volcano which is called Lonquimay volcano, so we got to check out that area too, and it was incredible. It was one of the best experiences ever. There's so many things over there which are pretty much hidden, and you don't really know about them until you get there. And that's something, what Chile offers. And I think it surprised you, and it always exceeds any expectations. It's just, it's a great country for skiing and for anything else.
Yeah, no, you're right. The people, the food, going there for the landscape, for the wine. There's a number of reasons to go. And that's also one of the things that happens, right? You go skiing. You went on a fam trip, so you were skiing, which is completely, it's doable. And I'm sure it's a great trip. But I think most people will probably combine, if they go, and I'd love for you to talk a little bit about Hotel Termas Chillán. It's a property that very few people know. It's brand new. It didn't exist at the time you went in the form that it is today, because it's new property. But I'm sure it encompasses a lot of what we're talking about as well.
Yeah, for sure. Hotel Termas Chillán, it's a new property. It's a brand new property. They opened it up last year in July. They basically saved the structure of the building, but everything else have been refurbished. It's a ski in and ski out property. It's in an excellent location. It has one of the largest spa centers in South America, indoor and outdoor heated pool. Also has a really nice restaurant, lounge area. So it really fits into that environment. It really stands out as a mountain hotel in comparison to other mountain properties, in South America. And I believe, that it caters more to American guests than the rest of the properties over there.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. And they have natural springs, right? I think that's a very unique differential.
Yeah.
Skiing, the skiing and the jacuzzi is already the perfect match. But when you can get that jacuzzi to be a natural spring, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I don't know, there's not many places in the world that you get that too.
No, especially, natural hot springs. That's really unique. You have a couple of them at the resort, and you have direct access to them once you're done with skiing. And that's why it's different than Valle Nevado, Portillo, even in Coralco. You have to drive a little bit further from resort. It's not in really close proximity, to have access to the hot springs, but you can do it.
Yeah, at Hotel Termas Chillán, you can do it on property, which is, right? Exactly. It's like the best ski in, ski out, and then do a little natural hot spring, right. which is amazing. And tell us a little bit. I know there are, if you think, for somebody that hasn't been, and of course they're going to think ski, Chile. Two names come to mind, two brands, two locations that are very well known, which is clearly Portillo and Valle Nevado, right? Would you agree with me? Those are the two most well-known. How would you differentiate Termas de Chillán or the region of Chillán with the other two? How, just for our partners, travel advisors, to be able to understand the difference?
Yeah, it's a bit more off the radar compared to Portillo and Valle Nevado. So it's rare to find long lift lines in Chillán, and then tons of skiers, trekking out the resort. That's not going to happen in Chillán. It's because it's a little bit hidden, in the Andes. And also, unlike in Portillo and Valle Nevado, there's tree skiing. Which you cannot find up north. And as we said before, the unique feature is just natural outdoor thermal pools, and has the longest ski run in South America, which is called Tres Marias, and it's long 8 miles, which is pretty cool. And then also it's very important that it's at the lower elevation in comparison to Portillo and Valle Nevado. So, for example, Nevados is at the base of 5,900 feet versus Portillo, which is 8,200 feet, and Valle Nevado 9,843 feet. So it's definitely a better place to go to avoid altitude sickness and better acclimatize on your ski trip, upon arrival, which is quite important. And the last is definitely less expensive than Portillo and Valle Nevado. So you will be able to save some bucks by staying in Nevados.
Yeah, have great value. One of the things also, when you think about the altitude, often you get less inclination, right? Because you're lower, but at the same time, it provides for a good place to learn. And for the expert skiers, there's the heli skiing, right? There's the cat skiing, which is
it's incredible. It's probably the best place in South America. To go for backcountry skiing. It's that's probably the highlight of the resort. But you can ski tour here for days, exploring nearby valleys, then summiting the volcanoes. There are 3 different volcanoes there. You can ski some serious verticals. It's at least 2,300 feet. At the end of the day, soak in the natural hot spring. So that's the best
not too bad
to finish your day. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, amazing. I had my first ever a few years ago. I went cat skiing in Aspen with the little Nell. And I don't know, for those that haven't done it, and I hadn't, for me, it was a very scary thing because you can't practice for off powder. So suddenly I had these fat skis, and I was with Mark from Little Nell and a bunch of friends, and I said, I can't go up to the, in the middle of nowhere and ski for the first time. And they go, well, that's what you're going to do, because you can't ski when there's no powder with these skis. Right. And I cried of joy at the feeling of skiing on powder. It is such an amazing feeling, and it's worthwhile doing. And again, the nice thing is that if you're surrounded by true professionals, the hard part of powder is getting up if you fall, and if you're not good at it, you're gonna fall. Right. And the beauty is, if you have people that know they can pick you up, then you're in for just the best part, which is just having fun and not having to struggle to get back up, which is not easy.
Right. I totally agree. And then you have to be lucky, with the snow conditions, and then take advantage of them. Try to do and practice, off piste. If you have brilliant and dry snow, it's the best way, to learn. And that's what you can do in Termas. And then that's just, it's a summer season, so you can take a break for a couple of months over the winter time, and then go back there when you get sweaty over the summer months, and get away to Chile. It's really something really, really cool.
Yeah, I know. And we see a lot of the professional skiers or teachers that do that, right? They keep going back and forth between Latin America and the Northern Hemisphere to make sure they follow the snow. And so it's very nice to see that a lot of the staff you can meet. If you're accustomed to skiing in the Northern Hemisphere, when you go south, you meet the same people. It's like,
right.
The snowbirds they go after it. So that's also very comforting. To have that experience. Also, you mentioned on an earlier call that we had that they had one of their best seasons this year, right? Which must have been like incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, they've got so much snow that nobody was really able, I mean, to enjoy it because they had to close it, and it's really unfortunate for them to not being able to open up for the public. So hopefully, I mean, next year, the situation, I mean, will get better, and they will be open, and the borders will be open, so we can go there.
No, for sure. We started. I remember. I think with Jane in our office in New York, we started talking to you about getting you down to Chillán. I think it was what 8, 9 months ago. We were supposed to be there a few months ago, right?
I
You would have been
know,
there.
I know, yeah, but I mean, it will come back, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
There will
I'm
be a
looking
next time,
forward to
yeah.
working together and to be able to take some great travel advisors with us to experience that, and for you to experience the property as well, because it is such a beautiful property. They've been able to do, as you said, utilizing the existing structure of the previous hotel, which was an older property, bring in a lot of wood, a lot of the natural, colors of the rock and the wood from outdoors inside, and make it such a modern and yet warm environment. I think it's and the food, the environment there is something that I'm really looking forward to having the North American market be able to experience it.
Yeah, and I also wanted to mention something. Our company, Alpine Adventures, we are known for running really cool fam trips for the travel advisors. Every year, especially, I mean, with JMac too, we've always arranged fam trips for our travel agents who love selling ski trips, and we always had some really exciting itineraries and pretty cool destinations. So that's something, I mean, what we are definitely, I mean, thinking about doing with Termas, and we would like to bring our travel advisors over there so they can experience and better sell in the future.
Sure. No, and it's that's exactly the goal, right? Is to get people to see it, live it, experience it, fall in love with it, understand the beauty of the culture, the food, the landscape, which is so different, right? I think
Yeah.
one of the things that you do as somebody that's passionate about skiing is try to understand all the different options there are in the world, right? So you were talking about, when you go to Japan, or when you go to the US, or when you ski in the Dolomites, which is different from Courchevel, which is different from the, Valais. It's all very different. And getting that, it's not only about ticking the box, but, though we love to do that, it's really understanding, saying, well, I don't know, Jackson Hole is super steep, and yet Aspen, you have the whole social environment, and yet, Dolomites, you have the wide open pistes and the mountains, and then understanding Chile is key.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and it's really something special. It's still, I mean, we can say it. I mean, it's off the beaten path destination. It's not for skiers and snowboarders who know every single spot, I mean, across the globe. But that's something, I mean, what more people should be aware of, and what is hidden over there when it comes to skiing.
Sure. And so you've been in the market for over 20 years. You were very strong in Europe as well as the US. Have you seen a growing market, a growing demand for Latin America in the last few years? If we take out 2020.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely. I mean, there is a rise. There is a rise. I mean, in the number of bookings, and it's still quite expensive, of course. I mean, to get there, and but at the end of the day, I think it's a really good value. Yeah, the interest is growing, and there are more and more people, I mean, who are interested in going to South America, and you just have to spend some time convincing them that that's the right place for them to ski.
Yeah, no, and again, it's a destination that you skiing can be one of the elements of the trip. It doesn't have to be it could be 100%, but there's so much to be seen. Again, you can combine it obviously with the wine region, but you're right next to the Atacama Desert, right?
Right.
And
then plus, I mean, you have either you can choose between 3 nights, 4 nights, 7 nights, so you don't have to stay for a whole week. at the resort. So you can just stay for 3 nights, and then you can spend a couple of nights in Santiago. You can also go to Valparaiso, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a bohemian town, very well known, right on the coast. You can also take a flight to Kamala and go to Atacama Desert, stay a couple of nights there, enjoy the stargazing, then Salt Flats. You can go to check out the geysers. There's so many things to do. The options are endless.
The options are endless. No, it's very true. Pete, it's so nice to speak to you. I wanted, as you mentioned before, but I want to do a shout out to John at JMac, who's I've known for many years before TL or JMac, where we even thought about it. So it's been, I think, 20 years. We were trying to count the other day how long it was, but it's great. I think one of my favorite things is that if we can even have a favorite part of COVID, because there's nothing wow about it, but if there is a silver lining, I think it's about collaboration. It's about realizing how much stronger we are doing things together. And RepFest is an example of that. Is something that maybe we would have never thought about with, TL Portfolio and this 4 other fantastic rep companies, and being able to do this, have, work together so that we can get the North American market to experience Hotel Termas Chillán through Alpine Adventures. And we can all work together to make sure that they have a great experience. Because at the end of the day, these little details that you talked about, the altitude, understanding how to build a trip is so fundamental, and so for our travel advisors to be able to get that know-how from you and understanding in the whole global context of the ski world, to understand Termas Chillán, and then for you to help them put that together, I think it's a fantastic combo. So great to be able to chat. Love that we can all work together and help each other. And hopefully next year we're going to be together, all of us on a fam, hitting the slopes, doing the cat skiing and the heli skiing, and having a great time with some amazing wine, and having you meet in person, because I know we spoke to them, Jose Francisco, who is the head of the property, the managing director, who's an amazing guy. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be with us because his English is a little bit hard to understand still, but he's working on it. He was like, "Can I do it in Spanish?" I'm like, this one's going to be hard.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with everything what you said. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Pete. It was so nice to speak to you. Thanks for joining the conversation and sharing all of your expertise. And we will hopefully be seeing you soon. We're going to now go into a Q&A session so that the advisors can ask a few questions, and then we'll be hopefully planning our fam trip in the near future.
Yes, we will for sure. You can count on Alpine Adventures.
Thank you so much, Pete. Great to see you.
Thanks, Tina. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.